My question is this: is the white paper, Michael, too prescriptive, and are we making it too complicated when at the end of the day what may be more required is simply knuckling down and introducing reforms for a more transparent, flexible and competitive economy, and if we do that, then the rest looks after itself? What's your response to that point?
Well, I think that's what I would conclude, actually, that ensuring you have an open, transparent, flexible economy, efficient economy, is the main thing you have to do if you're going to prosper in the next century. If you don't do that, you really are not going to get the economic benefits. I think it's wise to have some stretch goals. I think some of the things that are mandated in the paper are not things I would have mandated. I wouldn't have mandated that boards had to have 40% members who had deep Asian knowledge and experience.
Why not now?
Well, because every company is different, and there are some companies for whom I don't think that's all that relevant, and if there's some sort of rule, you end up having people on your board who are less useful than others you might have on your board, unless you want to expand the numbers, which has other implications. So I think it's better to have guidelines about those sorts of things. I think targets like $37 million allocated to sending Australian students offshore for an experience are a good idea. You need to have something tangible like that and to allow for it in the budget. But overall, I'd rather see, I think, as you suggest, the most important thing is to get the settings right.
John, what's your response to this? Are we making it a bit too complicated?
We actually may be making it a bit too easy, in the sense that we've produced a paper which I think is hugely value-added. I think it provides a narrative in which the broader community can engage and see what the importance of Asia and or what the importance of role Australia can play in the Asian century. But I think, in point of fact, to Michael's point, if we're going to be effective and we're really going to deliver, we have to go way beyond that. And we have to work out what the drivers and enablers are, if you like, for success. And again, we keep on coming back to microeconomic reform. And before you ask me, well, what are those drivers and enablers, I'll defer again that question or the answer to and refer to the paper that Gary Banks gave on the 1st of November on his productivity to-do list, where he talked about incentives as being the drivers, and that was largely about competition. He talked about capabilities, which as an enabler, and that was essentially all around infrastructure and human capital. And he talked about flexibility, and under that there was just a whole raft of things that he talked about, everything from workplace regulation through to to the issues around tax. And so I think that the paper that David's been involved in authoring provides us with an enormous opportunity. It opens up an enormous landscape for us. And we've now got the community engaged in the discussion. The question is, what's the follow-up? And the best prescription I've seen for follow-up was actually Gary Banks' paper. So for those of you who haven't read it, you can Google it. The to-do list, it's called. It's worth a read.